I finally got my hands on the Reignition Line Blade Blaster. This thing is amazing. It's totally not what I was expecting, and it's totally exactly what I was expecting. Does that sound confusing? Well, come along with me and I will explain step by step as I'm showing it to you. Let's go. What is my overall thoughts of the Blade Blaster? I think this is a nice display piece. I think overall there's nothing wrong with this. It's a nice kid's toy. Again, kid's toy. Now, I could say there's a few flaws in it. But again, you have to remember this is a Playmates Reignition Blade Blaster for kids. If you're a big Power Ranger fan, you know there's supposed to be 3 modes. You got the Blaster mode, you got the Blade mode, and then you got the Holster mode. But in this case, you don't got that 3rd mode. The closest thing you can do is that, and to me, that looks horrible. So, let's talk about this blade for a minute, because this blade mode is nice looking, it's fantastic, it's red. The Sentai Blade Blaster was red back in the 1993s, ours was gray, as I'll show you in a little bit. But if you look closely, you can see the spring inside, and there's no detail to this blade. In my opinion, there's a little bit on the top, but not very much. I don't know if my camera's going to pick that up or not. But overall, I think this blade looks boring. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it because how it retracts, even if BD15, made new stickers for this, I don't think you could put stickers on the blade itself because it's the way it retracts, like I said. But overall, I think the 2 modes are really easy to use. And I think kids will love it. Me, as an adult collector of Power Rangers stuff, like you see back there in all my videos, this is not for me. This is definitely not for my collection. I think if I just had a huge room for displaying every Power Ranger toy ever made, yes, I might buy this. But for an actual collection of my own, no. The Dragon Dagger from Playmates was fantastic. It was a recreation of the 1994-3 Dragon Dagger, and I thought that was great. This one is thick, chunky, and it's alright. Now, it does have sounds and phrases, so let's go through those now.
Lock on and fire!
Now, I will say this one's a lot louder than the Dragon Dagger itself, but very cool.
Power up! Let's take him down! Time to beat these beasts! Lock on and fire! Power up! It's morphin' time! Lock on and fire! It's morphin' time! Power up!
Now, the only problem I really have with these Reignition, role-play toys for the kids is they're all the same sounds and sound effects pretty much. The Dragon Dagger had most of these same phrases as the Morpher and the gun. So when you put the Green Ranger coin in the Morpher, it's pretty much the same phrases as what you get in the Dragon Dagger. This is pretty much the same phrases as you get with the power coins in the Morpher. That's kind of disappointing. The other disappointment is that there's no secondary button or mode where you can just use it as a sound effect, as like a blade, where it goes ching, 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 or, just blasting sounds. No, you just get the phrases and sounds, so you can't really role play with it too much unless you don't care for the sound and just have this with some other friend of yours and pretend to play Power Rangers and use a ding, ding, and use your imaginary voice and go ching, 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 ding, ding. And that's not the point of old-fashioned toys when I grew up. Because when we grew up with the Blade Blaster, that one back there by the TV, had this weird, funny, gun sound that most 1993, 90s, 80s toys had. And even though that was my Blade Blaster from being a kid, this itself is fantastic for the newer day kid generation. But I'm disappointed that it does not go in holster mode, and I'm disappointed that it doesn't have a separate sound effect bank for just fighting. You go outside as a kid, you wanted to pretend that, your friends were Putty Patroller or Goldar or some evil monster that you created in your head, and you decided to just blast them, ting, ting, ting. But you would have that sound effect through the actual toy. And yes, even the 1993 one wasn't perfect. It did not have a blade sound effect. It just had the blade blaster sound effect, the blaster part of it. but that was okay. But in comparison of the two, these are very close to each other. So I'm going to grab my other one, my 1993 one, and we're going to compare the size of these two together. So now that I got my 1993 Blade Blaster right next to the new Playmates one, I will say they're the exact same size. The difference of the sizing comes down to this little tiny piece right here. That sticks out a little bit more than this, but if you line them up to the T right there where they belong together, they are exactly the same size. I know it was a little bit off camera, but there you go. Same size, Blade Blasters all the way around besides the thickness. This one is thick boy. Now again, this is meant for little kids. It's not meant for the collectors, not meant for the fan that wants screen accurate stuff. Now yes, this does say Power Rangers. It is pretty close to screen accurate. This blade is definitely not. It's missing the hoster mode, like I said. But the difference, the big difference is how this works. So if you push that in, the blade goes in. If I do that to this one, the blade stays out and you have to literally push it in. And that's cool. Again, same size no matter which way you have it. This sounded like crap back in the day. Again, like I was saying, at least I didn't have to use my imagination. Go ding, 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 boom, boom, boom. This would do it for me. Only thing this didn't do that I wish it would have done now, thinking back on it, is make blade sounds. Clink, 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 clink. That would have been cool. But in the 90s and the 80s and even in the 70s, that did not exist. It did not exist for sound effects as far as I remember. Now, saying that, today's Blade Blaster could have had that with it. It would have been perfect. It would have been fantastic. But it didn't. So overall opinion is, if you want something a little bit closer to screen accurate and you didn't get the Legacy Edition and you don't have one of these to customize, this is a third generation Blade Blaster that wouldn't be such a bad idea. I think it's the third. Maybe it's the fourth. But this would be a great one just to have in a collection for displaying like this, unfortunately, because if you push it into hoster mode like this one got, you don't get it. You get that blade sticking out, and I don't really care for that. But thanks to my son for letting me borrow this. This is actually his, and so I couldn't unbox it. But overall, stay tuned because I am going to customize this. But if I was going to rate this Blade Blaster, I would say 7. Just because it's missing one of the modes. And I can't really say much about that for fault, because when it comes down to it, this was not supposed to be a cosplay toy. This was supposed to be just a kid's toy for them to go play, be rough and tough outside with, and pretend you're a Power Ranger fighting Goldar, the Putty Patroller, King Sphinx, or whoever you see on the new Power Ranger Reignition TV show remastered, the original 1993 one that we grew up with. Yeah, guys, this is an okay Power Ranger Blaster. It's not meant for me. It might be meant for you for a display, or give it to your kids like it belongs to. I paid $19 for this for my son's birthday on Walmart. Hopefully it'll be coming to Amazon soon, Target, and because Walmart upcharges the prices all the time, at least Amazon won't do that. As soon as they list it for $19.99, it's going to stay that way. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video. Peace.